And this morning we're joined by the founder and CEO of Agri-Impact Group, Daniel Fahini Acquaye. We're going to be talking about the Harnessing Agriculture Productivity and Prosperity for the Youth, HAPPY program, with support from the MasterCard Foundation, is touching the lives of thousands of the youth in the agri sector. And so Daniel will be telling us more about that. So Daniel, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
I believe you're doing very well.
Very, very well.
So let's talk about the HAPPY project, Harnessing Agricultural Productivity and Prosperity for the Youth. What's it all about? Tell me more about it.
Well, we all know the food shortages that we have in the country and the fact that we tend to import most of the strategic food that we eat: rice, poultry, tomatoes, and to some extent soya bean. And we ask ourselves, why do we always want to import and create jobs for other people? Why don't we invest more into the sector, harness the demand and supply gap, and turn them into jobs? So that's exactly what HAPPY is doing. That you have demand for rice, there's shortage of rice, we are importing rice. Why don't we produce rice and use that space to create jobs? So the MasterCard Foundation initiated this program in a co-created fashion.
Okay.
Co-created means that the foundation did not just come and impose a program on us, but assembled a team of institutions that could deliver on a specific mandate. And the mandate is that let us use 4 agricultural value chains: rice, soya, poultry, and tomatoes, to create jobs for 326,000 young Ghanaians in the next 4 years. So 2023 to 2027. And not only creating jobs, let's use the same approach to reduce our food imports. So we'll be able to reduce our food imports by a value of $200 million per annum. Now, that translates into about 10% of our total food imports. And we'll be able to increase production of these commodities. So in all, we are looking at increasing production of the 4 strategic commodities by 189,000 tons per annum. So we are killing several bets. You are addressing food, you are addressing import substitution, you are also addressing jobs. And in the jobs, we are targeting young people between the ages of 15 and 35.
Okay.
So that's the main focus. And there is special focus also on women. So with the 326,000 young people, 70% are targeting young women. And we are also looking at persons with disability, how they can have space, voice, and agency in the agricultural sector that employs most of the rural people. So that is HAPPY.
So let's get to the target of the program again. And some of the commodities that are going to be produced or have actually been produced under the HAPPY project. Let's look at the commodities that have been produced under it.
Yes. Rice, soya, tomatoes, and poultry. And you know that as a nation, we import close to 90% of the poultry that we consume in the country. A lot of the poultry farmers have gone into layer production because there were issues with broiler production. And I'm glad to say that when HAPPY started in December, there were a lot of broiler poultry farms that shut down. And I can give you specific examples and names of poultry farms that have come up as a result of HAPPY. If you go to the potting area, for example, there was Aglo, state-of-the-art poultry processing facility, shut down for like 3 years. HAPPY came in and provided starter pack for young people in the form of day-old chicks, feed, vaccines, medication, technical support, and did what we call ecosystem facilitation. In doing that, as we speak, Aglo is processing chicken and supplying KFC and others.
Wow.
And we are bringing Dakun farms on board. We are bringing other poultry farms on board. And not only in the process, the fact that the processing facility is now on board is also catalyzing other broiler producers to revamp their structures, producing, because now there's a facility that can process.
Okay.
If you go to the Doma area, we have Yedent and Nepo Beta. Doma Enclave tends to be one of the largest poultry producing hub in the country, but they were all doing layers and not broilers. But Happy has catalyzed the industry such that now you have more people that have gone into broiler production because a private sector has also established a processing facility in the Doma area. Then we connect them to feed suppliers. We are connecting them to hatcheries, and we are connecting them to markets. So all the value chain functions and activities have been well coordinated, and Happy is facilitating that. As we are doing this, we are creating space for young people, not only to become employees, but we have a pathway where some of them will transition to become entrepreneurs, and they will expand their businesses in a way that they will begin to also employ other young people. If you go to the Kasunya area, where the Minister of Finance mentioned in the media budget presentation, fortunately, and we need to commend government for this effort, it has invested in what they call economic enclave projects. Now, with the economic enclave projects, government is investing in huge tracts of land under irrigation. And they have connected electricity, road, they are putting up hostel facilities, training centers, all in the Kasunya area. And there is a private sector there called Agri-Impact, which is tapping into the infrastructure that government has established, and they have also opened it up to other private sector people to come on board. What that means is that if you are a young person and you want to go into agric, and you will need, you have issues of access to land, access to capital, access to market, access to technology, with a model of the economic enclave, everything is there. So you have a private sector, an anchor private sector partner that is a processor and a marketer of rice and in production. So they take all these young people, mentor them through the process. So as you produce, you get a starter pack in a form of seed and agro input. You have a technical support that is provided to you both by the Ministry of Agric and the private sector anchor. Your market is assured because the aggregator is at your doorstep. And there is opportunity for you to move from producing 2 hectares by a person to 5 hectares and to 10 hectares and employ more. And this is not what we intend to do. This is what we are doing. What I'm talking about is already happening on the ground. And let me also state that in the same way, if you go to the Kumewu area, and let me comment also the Kumewu mining, releasing over 20,000 hectares of land. That translates into like 45,000 football fields. Or 30, let's say about 30,000 football fields, size of land, releasing it to the National Service Scheme to create space for young people to have access to land for agriculture. And that land, some of it has been developed as I speak today. Rice is being produced. The last time they produced soya. And the same Happy program, supported by the MasterCard Foundation, has catalyzed other private sector people to go into that enclave, to even do the largest poultry farm that we can ever experience.
Oh, really?
Yes, about 1,000-acre land already acquired, and the government is connecting electricity. Lands have been prepared, and young people are there as I speak today working on the farm.
Talking about the finance minister, I mean, during the mid-year budget review, he talks about the Happy program, and he said, we have trained about 500 youth in agricultural entrepreneurship through a 6.1 million partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. And these investments have resulted in 397.5 tons of rice harvested in phase 1 of the project. What did you mean by that?
Interestingly, let me say, the Happy program, initially I mentioned that it's a co-created program. And we have consortium of partners that are implementing the program. So you have 8 partners. MIDA under the Ministry of Finance, GEA under the Ministry of Trade, Crop Directorates under Ministry of Agri. Then we also have National Service and the Ministry of Education. We have Colleague Relief Services, we have TechnoServe, we have New Age, we have Jobberman. These are the 8 partners that are implementing Happy program, and Agri-Impact is the lead of the implementation team. So the MasterCard Foundation has signed agreement with Agri-Impact to oversee the project implementation. And Agri-Impact has signed sub-agreements with the institutions that I mentioned, one of which being MIDA. The total envelope of the partnership with MIDA is $6.1 million for the next 4 years to create job opportunities for 38,000 young people within the Kasunya, Esuchari, Akuse, Pram enclave. So that is it. Out of that, 500 young people have been trained. So the minister's statement is that $6.1 million partnership program, of which 500 have been trained. Not 500 people have been trained using $6.1 million. But it is 500 people have been trained through a $6.1 million partnership program. So I need to mention that. If you go to Botanga in northern Ghana, not too far from Tamale, one of our partners, New Age, is operating in that area. I have been there. Team from the foundation have been there. Other people have been there. You have young people who will tell you that they used to come to Kumasi and Accra to do Acquaye. As a result of the program, they have gone back and they are not coming back to Accra because the revenue that they are getting from producing rice is far higher than coming to Accra and doing Acquaye. And a typical example, before the program, the people in Botanga were getting 2 metric tons per hectare of rice. Because we are supporting them with agro-input, quality, timely delivery, and adding technical support to it, the same 1 hectare of land, they are getting 5 tons.
Wow.
And their revenue has increased from 10,000, they were getting between 8 and 10,000 cedis to 25,000. And their production cost is 6,000. So at the end of the day, within a 3 months period, if they do 1 hectare of rice, they are getting 19,000 cedis. I think that is far better for them than coming to do Acquaye.
Yeah, great.
We've been to, if you go to Mion, if you go to Saboba, you have New Age there. And the other good thing about this program is that we are not just supporting or intervening for people to produce. We are actually delivering products onto the market. So if you go to the work that New Age is doing, you have Evivi rice. If they were doing 1,000 bags Evivi rice, now they can do 5,000 bags Evivi rice. And I use Evivi rice, and it is fantastic.
Indeed,
it's the same for Agrokin. You will see Nanes rice. It is not new, it's there. But now it has capacity to quadruple whatever output that he was putting onto the Ghanaian market. Same for Aglo chicken.
So Daniel, hold on a minute. As you tell us all these success stories, I know there's somebody listening who says, "How do I join?" Because he also wants to be part of the success of the program.
There are several ways that if you are a young person, you can join. If you go to our website, www.agri-impactgroup.com, there is a form you can fill to join. That's one. If you go to your district assemblies and you ask of HAPPY, especially the Ministry of Agri, they will give you the pathway for which you can get on board. If you go to our partners website like GEA website, Jobberman, in fact, Jobberman is actually doing formal job placements under the program, and they are to do 8,000 formal jobs in the next 4 years. What it means is that we started doing clinics, training the young people how they should prepare their CV, how they should do job search, linking them to private sector institutions that will need their skills. And we provide mentorship for these young people before they roll out onto the job market. If you go to KNUST, we've started a fantastic program with them. We call it eHappy. What eHappy is doing is that we are training 150 young people to use digital tools to create enterprises that will solve agricultural problems and increase agricultural productivity. We are also going to train 500 young people in the use of social media to promote agricultural activities, still under HAPPY. So yes, we know that the social media has been very strong in the entertainment industry, but how do we harness the energies of our young people and also direct some of them into the agri? So if you are a young person, I'm not young, unfortunately, but I see young people here. If you are a young person and you are maybe a social media influencer, you have TikTok and all those things, in addition to whatever you are doing, can you pick one of the brands of this program or anything that is produced in Ghana? Can you pick that brand and decide that you are going to be a promoter of that brand? That will also fetch you money. And that is what we are doing. And we are targeting 500 people, engaging them to zoom into the social media space and promote made in Ghana produce, especially the value chains that we are working on.
Thank you very, very much, Daniel Fahini Acquaye, who's founder and CEO of Agri-Impact Group, for joining us. So folks, you know where to go. Get onto their website. You have to be part of this project. I have been to the Kasunya site, and I have seen it for myself. I mean, the production of rice. I've seen the roads. I've seen the hostels. I've been to the rooms. I've seen, the warehouses, and I've seen the processing mill and all of that. So it's not like this is something in a vacuum. It is real, and you can be part of it. Stay with us.
We want to invite the media houses and take them on tour so that you can also capture the success stories of the program.